All right, everyone, here we are with another video speaking about what did ARK Invest buy today. And we're going to analyze the chart of what they bought and we're going to dive in. But before we do, I want to go ahead and state to all investors, welcome to the channel for the first time viewers, and to all my subscribers, welcome back. So ARK Invest decided to buy DocuSign today. So when we look at DocuSign from the beginning of the year, right, all the way back in January, it was hanging at around $60. This ran up to the point where it was almost 500% in return. It missed the $300 mark by $9. Right now, it's hanging out 400% almost above that price. I mean, that's still a large amount. For ARK Invest to be jumping in on DocuSign right now is because they see this with potential to be valued at much more. Now, DocuSign is innovative, and with less and less paper being used to sign documents, I mean, when we go paperless and everything's electronic, I could see DocuSign dominating in this sector and doing so much more. DocuSign has so much more to go. I mean, I've really seen DocuSign actually even be used. You have to put like a pin and get into, right, the document, so it makes documents more secured. Not just anyone can open it up before it gets, sent out. And if you send it to someone, the sender needs to give you the pin so you can have access to it. I mean, there's some cool security features when it comes to DocuSign and documents. And I could just see why DocuSign has potential to continue to grow. But I mean, wow, 500% growth, and it's hanging at around almost 400% growth. And ARK Invest is stating by just making this purchase that they see more value than where it's at right now. I mean, that's pretty immense. I mean, I would think a correction, right? Well, maybe not. This is probably the correction we're seeing right now, and this is probably going to continue to run. But let's look at it here. So this is ARK K, right? ARK K with two Ks. And DocuSign was bought today, right? And they bought 123,242 shares. This was their largest purchase of DocuSign today. But they made another purchase. And that purchase was for the other ARK Invest ETF, and that's ARK W. They bought 38,193 shares. So the fact that they went ahead and diversified this into two portfolios, one was a little bit larger than the other, that's a big statement. That's a pretty bold statement on ARK Invest in general, saying, hey, this is hanging at around 215, 212, 210. I see value in this, and that's still like 350% plus gains throughout the year. I mean, if you're buying at the $200 mark, that's a pretty bold decision, or you just know that the value is still there and there's so much more room for growth. I think that ARK Invest making this decision makes it pretty obvious that there is some value left here, or they're kind of weighing it out based off of where it's at right now. It's hanging at the 210. It hit lows of about 186, and the highest point reach was 290. There's some room here for another $70 to $100 run. Possibly that's how they're looking at it. But when you think about it, I mean, if you're buying now, and especially ARK Invest, they like to try their best, right? They try their best to hold positions long term. I mean, DocuSign, I guess it just has so much more growth potential, and it's taking over the market, making things more paperless. And like I said, that security feature, I personally saw it myself, and someone sent me a document, and that document, I needed to know the password, and they knew the password, so they need to share it with you. If you get sent a document by accident and you don't have the code, you have no access to the document. So it's pretty cool. It makes it almost like you use the document for what you need it, and then once you're out, and you don't get that information again unless you remember the code or you ask the sender again to go ahead and rectify it for you or share it with you. But pretty interesting stuff. This is what ARK Invest bought today that was interesting out of all of them. I really don't think these other ones are as, I don't know, like standing out, except for Zoom Video. I mean, Zoom Video, we all know it's growing and it has so much potential, and it's been dominating in the growth sector. But it was just interesting to see it in both of these ETFs. Now, Zoom also jumped in on both of them. One had 25,000 and the other one got 79,000. So Zoom is another one that was pretty interesting. But DocuSign stood out the most. And the fact that it's valued right now at around $200 and it's had almost 500% growth and it's sitting at around 350% growth, that is pretty interesting to see the fact that it is right now being bought by ARK Invest. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think that if ARK Invest is buying at the $200 mark, they see more value than just $200. We may have to see this in the next couple of weeks or month to see how it reacts and where it's going. But I wanted to inform everyone on that. And then Zoom, but I think Zoom is so up there. I mean, it's pretty out of control. Zoom Medica, no. Zoom here, I mean, this thing rose up to almost $600 and it's in the $400 range. I mean, ARK Invest is really jumping in on these at some big numbers. I guess they believe that there's room for more growth on these. Now, DocuSign seems pretty reasonable. It has a lot more room to grow and get more exposure. But Zoom, I mean, the main reason why it was running up is due to the fact of lockdowns and people doing more conferences and meetings, virtually. But what they may be seeing is the fact that Zoom isn't just because of lockdowns. It's going to become a norm. Same thing with DocuSign. So we're going to have to watch these closely and see what's going on. But I found it interesting that ARK Invest bought these today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. And in that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. As you see here on the graph, these circles are the dates that the pumps have happened, and I use them as examples to show you guys how much the stocks have risen, and the S&P 500 index rose on those dates. And the reason why it's rising is due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. On these dates, the charts and the dates speak for themselves, as we can see it here, and I break it down into more detail in the video. But just to summarize it, on these dates, the S&P 500 rises, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up, and these individual ticker symbols are giving you back profits. These are profits, and like I always say, profits are profits. Whether it's $1 put into the market and you get back $2, you've put in an initial investment and you got back more than what you started with. That's what it's all about. And also, in the video, I go into further detail showing you guys these dates and showing you how much it rose. Like, for example, this was one of the last pump dates, and the lowest point that it reached was down here at 35.11, and the highest point reached was 35.57. That's like a 40-point jump. And here, we're seeing the same thing. It went down to 35.88, and it rose up to about, I'd say, let's see, this is all still in the same day. It rose up to about a total amount of 36.23. When you do the math, that's almost a 40 to 50 point jump, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with this. Now, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news, on the opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. You have to do your due diligence and research, but these charts and the dates speak for themselves. I mean, this was probably one of the largest jumps that I've seen in the last couple of pumps, and it was down here at 33.02, and it rose up to about 33.88. That was an 80-point jump. There was probably ticker symbols rising up more than $3 per share on those dates. And even on these dates, there's individual ticker symbols rising more than $3 per share. Check it out, see for yourselves, and my best advice is look for ticker symbols that may be resembling the behavior of the S&P 500 index, and you'll be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Check it out. Again, I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm just here to go ahead and share the information along with every single viewer and investor. The video should be popping up soon. If you haven't seen it already, pop up. There is the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.